but we're here. Give some people a chance to kind of get the notification and come in. Hope everyone's doing well. Shalom, shalom. Good seeing everyone. Good seeing everyone. Shalom, family. Hope everyone's doing well. Got an opportunity for us to kind of hang out a little bit, talk a little bit right now. As you can see, down here by the beach again, chilling real quick, hanging out with the the people enjoying their blessings this afternoon. I think it's turquoise. Trying to get all the protection I can get. You know what I'm saying? With all the stones and everything else. Exactly. You know them living their best life, not a care in the world. So just loving life. No cares in the world, just loving life. Wondering what the hell I'm doing down here. Like, yeah, you don't belong down here. This ain't your area. You're not supposed to be around here. No, I don't do any fishing here. Yeah, they don't want to hear any of that, any of this. I said, let them enjoy it for now, right? They're gonna get all this beautiful weather, beautiful lands, everything else, and then they're gonna get raptured away. I said, this not makes doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Yes, we do. Thank you. We got the best protection, the Most High. Got the angels surrounding us. We know that definitely. Quickly, their heaven is definitely turned into hell. Quickly, we know that for sure. Good seeing you, brother Corrimio. Good seeing you. Yes, definitely thanks to the moderators, definitely who are here as well. I was cracking up. I want to talk a little bit about this. The Joe Rogan. You guys heard about him? I hadn't heard. I mean, I kind of heard a couple things on the news. They were talking about him, but I kind of listened to like a little CNN video or whatever else on him, and how someone made a clip of all the times he was saying saying nigger or whatever else for the last, was it, I don't know how many episodes, I don't know, but it was funny because it was like someone, I don't know, got somebody pissed off and they made a whole bunch of clips of him using the N word like nothing, like no big deal, whatever else. And I guess now Spotify was like, I guess they pay him all this money for his content. So I heard that all of a sudden Spotify is trying to like get rid of some of his videos that actually have him saying the N word. I'm like, bro, you guys knew he said the N word before all this came up. So why is it all of a sudden, important for you to take them down? You see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't bring any eyes to that issue, no one would have even realized it at all. Yeah, they took the clips down. What does that matter? The clips have been up for how long? You know what I'm saying? So exactly another distraction. It's like, and then I guess they found another one, which was him going somewhere. I guess there was a whole bunch of black people, and he said something about going to the planet of the apes, something like that. I'm sure you guys, some of you guys have heard about that already. And then he tried to apologize for the N word. Well, they took a lot of clips and they put them all together, and so he tried to round about, oh, that just looks really really bad, and da. I'm just like, he's trying to fake apologize. I'm like, at this point, why? That's my whole thing. I'm like, dude, you guys are showing exactly who you are. Trust me, that's not the only time you called us niggers or whatever else. If you're willing to say it on your podcast for everybody here, trust me, you're saying that stuff all the time when you're not online. You know what I'm saying? So, and you're calling people, black people, Planet of the Apes, because you went into an area that had like a lot of black people and there was no white people around. So it's like, why even make it a point? Why are they even apologizing? It's like, bro, we don't care. I should speak for myself. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I could care less because, see, you guys have had your blessing. We're at the end of your blessing. You can say whatever the hell you want. You've been saying it for the last 400 or 500 years. You had no problem saying all that stuff before, and but see, you thought you guys were never gonna have to pay for anything. So go ahead, man. Hey, have at it. Have a good time. See, we understand the truth. We understand that you guys are absolutely nothing without us. You've done nothing without us. Everything that you have, everything that you do, is all because you've stolen it from the Hebrews. So what you call us, what you say, what you refer to us as, means nothing, because really you are nothing. So what is it? So what does it matter? Why you did this for however long this was out? It's been sitting there in all these old podcasts. Someone was able to go back and slice all these different copies of all these things you said. So why is it now all of a sudden we want an apology? It's like, who cares? I said, it's not like we haven't heard you guys say those kinds of things this whole time. All of a sudden now it's just important for you guys to if they bring it out. It's just a distraction. I'm sure almost all these guys have said exactly the same thing. You know, almost all of them have gone out and been using the N word left and right. So what does it matter? Exactly right. He left it all up there so that they could find it, so he could apologize. It's all an effort to pretend. Exactly. I mean, if this stuff has been up there for God knows how long, then you guys have known about it. So it wasn't a big deal before. And that's it. Play pretend. Play pretend. I mean, and see, for the people who are awakened, we don't care. We're not trying. I guess I should speak for myself. I'm not trying to get equality in your system. Not when my father's bringing our system to bear. So what does it matter? Your guys' system is now coming to an end. You know what I'm saying? Your guys' system is over with. You're like on the fumes of your system. I said you are on the fumes of your system. So if you want to use the N word, you've already been using it. What does it matter now? And that's exactly it. That's how they really feel. That's how you guys really feel. Hey, go ahead, enjoy yourself. You say the N word all you want. If you've already been doing it, it's not like, is it something? Oh, all of a sudden now you started using the N word, like all of a sudden now. You know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden, and that's the whole thing. So it's like, you guys have been doing this the whole time. You guys have not cared about how we feel. I said, so why all of a sudden you're trying to fake it and make it seem like we're gonna make it? Even if he apologizes, what does it matter? Does it change how he really feels? Does it change anything about you know what he really thinks about us as a people? Oh, so he called us a bunch of apes. Oh, we've never heard that before. We've never been referred to as apes before, or monkeys, or whatever else. But like I said, this is just the Most High exposing them every single day. He's just more exposing. I don't want him as my master. He can be somebody else's. And saying I'm, he's like, oh, that sounds really bad. Yeah, I mean, I can see how people would take that as being racist. You think? Yeah, okay. And that's it. I said, you can say whatever you want. It don't matter, man. I said, because really, like I said, it's to the point where we don't care about pretty much anything you guys say. We don't care if you're apologizing for stuff that you did. We don't care about your breakdowns of our scriptures anymore. We know none of that, right? Took till 2022 to think it was racist. Exactly. Exactly. He doesn't mean it, and we don't care. Just like we've had people that, give fake apologies, and then we know that they're not sincere. So I was like, dude, we don't care about that. I said, I'm not looking for apologies. You're not gonna apologize to me. You're gonna apologize to my father. He's the one that's gonna be taking care of business. He's the one that you're gonna have to be apologizing to. And see, he knows all of our hearts, so he knows exactly why we do the things that we do. So trust me, he knows that if you're being actually true, and sincere about what you're saying, if you're making a sincere change. I said, but most of you guys are not. We already know that. And I'm like, hey, and I think that throws a lot of people off. That many of us don't care. See, they got their one group that's going to want an apology, and then they're going to go out there and cry and yell and whatever else. And if the guy does apologize, they're going to act like they got something done. They got something accomplished, and it's like nothing got accomplished. Nothing's changed. All the same stuff that they believed before, they still believe it. He's still making his millions of dollars, or already made his millions of dollars. He's living life, whatever else. What's changed? Nothing's changed. That's why we're waiting for our Father to come and take this. All these things. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to say them to him. He's the one that's gonna take the system down. Our Father's gonna do that, and he's already exposing the system. As you can see, like in the last couple of videos, Columbus and them, they knew what they were coming over here for. And the fact that in 2022 you still got the vast majority of the world still acting like, oh, he was trying to sell to China and just bumped into America. I mean, that's why, like, we don't really take a lot of the things that the Gentiles say like seriously, because it really doesn't make any sense. I said they knew exactly what they were doing, and it just shows you how this whole society has been set up, you know to hide the truth. So just like them saying they're sorry about what he said, that's a lie. That's not true. You know, he meant exactly what he said. He said what he wanted to say. And see, when there's actually some teeth behind, these apologies, when there's going to have to be some payments from these apologies. I don't want to hear an I'm sorry, but then I get to go back to my multi-million dollar house. I get to go to my multi-million dollar, estates, and I get to go and get my cars, and I get to still live where I live, and I still get to make all the money that I make. What the hell did the apology do? Did the apology change anything? Did the apology make our lives any better? Did apologies, make restitution for the hundreds of years of all the free labor you guys have gotten? You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing changes. So, like, as far as nothing changes, we don't care. I said, if nothing's gonna change and everything's gonna be the same, and you guys are still gonna be on top, we're still gonna be the tail, then we could care less what you guys have to say. Exactly it, Davida. They spend trillions of dollars, like, on our oppression. You know, they spend all this money. So, like I said, so it doesn't even matter what they say. And if we're not worried about them breaking down scriptures anymore, we're not worried about them telling us about history anymore. We're not worried about any of that stuff. I said, then why do we care about apologies? I said, you guys are all liars. All of you. I said, if you're part of the Gentiles at the end that don't accept the truth, don't admit the truth, I said, you're gonna go and said your fathers have inherited lies. So really, what does it matter? You see, but they're still trying to make it seem as if they're relevant. You know what I mean? The Most High he's taken out all their power. He's taken away all their intellectual authority. You know, I said, so really, at the end, we already know how the end of this movie. It's like we already know the end of the movie, how you guys are going to come and say your fathers have inherited lies. So if we already know that's how this movie's going to end, then what does it matter what you guys say as far as you know? Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry about calling you guys niggers again and again and again and again and again. Oh man, you guys found that clip about me calling you guys apes and from planet. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You guys accept my apology? No, we don't accept your apology, bro. You know, and once you understand that, like I said, then you know, then what's next? This is why the fathers have it. This is exactly why when you read the scriptures, you talk about all the destruction, all the death and destruction has come into the world. We know exactly why. Wasn't suspended or fired. I heard something about saw some notification came about The Rock wavering on his support for Rogan because of the revelations of the N word. I said, so you didn't already know that, Dwayne Johnson, that he was saying the N word, and that's what this whole thing was about. But like I said, hey, you guys are welcome to believe whoever you want. You're welcome to support whoever you want. You know, I said, but now you understand like why all these things are happening as far as these wars are getting ready to happen. You've seen all these people getting you've seen all these people getting transferred. Was it 3,000 from the 82nd Airborne got moved to I want to say Poland. They're talking about that. But you see these people are just tripping. They're like, well, hopefully, cooler heads will prevail. And, I guess yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, I guess Russia and China pretty much signed an agreement that, hey, if you go into Ukraine, China's got your back. If China says they're going to go into Taiwan, Russia's got your back. And they were talking about how I thought, and last time I heard, I thought China only had like a billion people. I guess now they have like 1.8 billion people, something ridiculous like that. And I think that Russia, I don't know, has over 200 million, something like that. But they're like, well, China could lose like half their people and they'd still be okay. And I'm like, yep. I said, so if it's kind of a war of attrition, then, there's no way you can lose as many people as they can, So as you can see, like, it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good. And like I said, but that's all part of prophecy. Not only, I said the Most High is showing like militarily, they're gonna have a very difficult time with these new nations, and it says that pretty much now intellectually and spiritually, the Most High is raising up His people to bring out the truth. So it's like they're losing in all different aspects. I saw that with Desert Prepper. Already has another pipeline already set up and ready to go. So if NATO doesn't want to play ball with Russia, they're like, okay, that's cool. We'll just sell our gas to China. Cool, problem solved. So you can't be giving us sanctions and everything else. Exactly. Sign that bill to support Russia. Exactly. So like I said, I mean, that's like, bro. Either way you look at it, it's not looking too good. I said either way you look at it, it's not looking too good. So like I said, militarily they're already being shown that they're going to have a very difficult time going against Russia and China. And now how they built themselves up as far as like being like the smartest kids in the classroom and everything else said, and that their histories, of the Greeks and all this other how superior they are, all that's being shown to be a bunch of BS. And them actually talking about like the scriptures and whatever else, and their breakdown of all that's all being shown to be a bunch of BS. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, they're being they're being exposed in so many different levels. I said, so like I said, that's the Most High right now. And as I said, this is the whole rising of the Israelites here at the end. That's what you're seeing right now. That's that. The other nations, K. Johnson, the other nations are not trying to be bullied by U.S. and NATO anymore. Exactly. And you actually even see people in NATO kind of like, hey, you know what? You guys need to back off. You're not the ones having to live over here and dealing with, living next to Russia. You're not the ones over here having to deal with these people. They're pretty much talking like, hey, you guys need to back up. You guys need to back off. Right? America sent in 3,000 troops, Marcella, and when Putin has over 100,000 troops on the border, please make this make sense. Exactly. It doesn't make sense. It makes sense to us because we know it's the end. It's the end of their reign. It's the end of their blessing. So they're not going to be making the best decisions, and we're definitely staying out of it. I said it's not our fight, but what we get to do is we get to kind of go on the sidelines. We get to be commentators. We get to sit here and look at what's going on and give, the Most High's perspective through His people. You start to see some people that are just ignoring everything that's happening. I was having a discussion yesterday and with someone, and they just don't want to know. They're like, "What? There's something going on in Russia? Like, what? Are you like under a rock? Do you live under a rock? How do you not know? Oh, you don't want to know. You think that things are going to be going back to normal. That's what you're hoping for. That's what you're hoping for. See, we're not hoping for things to go back to normal. Well, we want our normal. We don't want your normal. I guess we should clarify. We want the Israelite normal. We want to be put back as the head. We want you to be back as the tail. That's the normal that we're looking for. You're looking for your normal. And see, and when you understand that, then you understand like where people are coming from. You know what I'm saying? We understand where people are coming from as far as like, I mean, when you understand like the whole world is not set up that we all think the same way, we all want the same things. But see, that's how they set up this. They talk about that. Oh, we're all universalists. We're all for the good of mankind and for the good. But we know that that's not true. That's not what they have been after. As they've been calling us monkeys and apes, and on their shows, and no one says anything. Using the N word all the time on their shows, no one says anything. And all of a sudden now it seems to be an issue. I said that just shows you then that it has not been about everybody getting a fair shake, everyone being treated equally. I said it's never been about that. So why all of a sudden now that seems to be something y'all want to strive for? Why are we striving for equality at the end of your system? I mean, that to me that makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, why exactly are you guys even striving for equality at this point? It's best probably just to keep your mouth shut, enjoy the last vestiges of your empire, and that's it. Why even bring up this stuff? Because it really makes you guys just look worse. Because it's like this dude had all these clips for how long, and you guys thought it was okay just to leave them up. He talks about calling us apes and Planet of the Apes for how long, and you guys thought this was okay. But now you think that I'm sorry is going to fix it. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that it's just like the whole thing with Whoopi Goldberg, okay, Deshaun Jackson, okay, Nick Cannon, how they want to control the narrative. They want to say that they want to make it seem like they can say all these horrible things to us. They can do all these horrible things to us. They can say like Rogan said all these things. No one said anything, but at the end, if they just say I'm sorry, like this is their way of apologizing, and then we're gonna be all good. And then I guess maybe that's what it is. And they're hoping then that maybe we'll be like, oh well, that's fine. He said I'm sorry, so let's all come together and let's all start praying for them and praying for our nation and praying for us to all come together. Maybe that's what they're going for, trying to get us to pray once again for them. So I'm sure we're probably going to see some of the old civil rights leaders come out here, and they're going to trot them on out here and make it seem like, oh well, they said they're sorry, so let's all come together and put this behind us and let's just all pray together. Maybe that's what they're going for. You know, I said because I mean anyone like at this late stage of the game that is now trying to go out of their way to hitch their cart up to this system. I said, so are you trying to like just I don't know hitch for the last couple minutes of the ride? Is that it? I said because this is a wrap. I said you can have all that. You can call me whatever you want. The Most High has enlightened us and given us understanding. I could care less what you guys call us. You've been calling us it anyways. You can say whatever you want. I don't care. Call us whatever, say whatever. You've been doing it anyways. It's not like it's going to change my life. It's not going to change any. You apologizing or not, it's not going to change anything over here. So I'm thinking maybe that's because it seems like like I said, they don't want to engage in the information. So maybe this is like another way for them to try to make it seem like they can say, well, Most High, we did try to apologize. We did bring it up and we did try to apologize. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. I said, but yeah, I mean, because they're not engaged in the information. They're not trying to prove this information wrong. All these guys are collateral damage. That's all that they are. They're just, they're just using them as collateral damage, like you said, like we just said before. They leave all these things up for years. Someone said, I thought it said it's been up for 12 years. Why? Well, you make the number 12 right there. You know, if this stuff's been up for 12 years, then why bring it up now? Why try to apologize now? Makes no sense. And that's it. They definitely don't care about collateral damage now. That's why all these people are all of a sudden have done all these things for years. All of a sudden, you know, they're getting charges, they're getting, accusations, stuff like that. Like all of a sudden, last ditch effort to save themselves. It could be, like I said, because to me, it makes no sense. Like, what do you get out of apologizing at this point? What do you get out of apologizing now? Unless you're somehow trying to get us to sympathize with you and then start to pray for you. You're trying to somehow work some way for us to start to pray for you guys once again. Because that's usually what it always is. It always comes back to somehow us forgiving them and then us praying for them, because we understand that they need our prayers. They need our prayers. They can't go to the Most High. They need us to intercede for them. So it seems like this might be another way for them to try to get some of us to do that. They know that we're praying for our people. They know that we are not praying for them anymore. They know that we see through their lies. So that makes a lot more sense. That they're somehow trying to get some of us to pray for them and pray for their system. Because all those 8K prayers, all of us coming together and praying, all of us coming together and fasting, all of us coming back to our traditions is definitely having an effect. It's having an effect on this entire system. Because now we're not fasting and praying against our own people. We're not fasting and praying for the system. Now we're fasting and praying for our Father. And we're fasting and praying for our traditions to be restored. And as you've seen, as we've been doing this for the last couple of years, you've seen how it's worked. You've seen how much worse it's been getting for them. You know, I said, so to me, like I said, the more I think about it, the more that resonates with my spirit, that's exactly what they're trying to do. I said they're trying to say I'm sorry, but without the consequences. They're trying to apologize, but without having to give up something. That resonates a lot more to me because, like I said, it really makes no sense why they would be doing that at this point. I said our prayers are working. The Father has turned His face back to us. Our time of punishment, is coming to an end, and theirs is beginning. So it makes a lot of sense for them to try, just like the fallen angels tried to get Enoch to go and pray for them, to try to go and get forgiveness for them. So it kind of makes sense then that we were trying to do the same thing to us, trying to get us to go, because see, they understand. They're the ones, they know about the power of the prayers of the Israelites. They totally understand that. They totally understand that. The vast majority of the world seems to think that anyone can just go and start to pray and the Most High is going to hear them. But they know that it's all about us as a people. And they know that as soon as we stopped praying for them and we stopped, caring about what they thought or what they think, then all of a sudden everything's gone to hell in a handbasket for them. Now they're like, why can't we find a resolution about this war? Why can't we do this and why can't we do that? Well, it's because you guys have come to the end of your reign. We're not praying for you anymore. We all know the power of the prayers of the Israelites, and that would make more sense. Now And we're going to see who else are going to try to sacrifice. Who else are they going to try to bring out that said something 15 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's going to want to apologize, so that we can try to, oh, see, this place isn't so bad. I said this place isn't so bad. We should pray for them and try to work things out. I said, well, I said you don't need to apologize to us. I said our Father's the one you need to be apologizing to. I said because we don't decide who gets a pass and who doesn't. And I said, I'm like, hey, dude, no thanks. You keep your apology. I said, I'd much rather you have a talk with my father when he gets here. I love that, Miss Abby. Exactly. It says, Big Judah says, they don't care about us, just our prayers and energies. That makes so much sense. You guys, that makes a lot of sense. They don't care about us, but they do want our prayers and they do want our energies. That makes so much sense. You know, I said, and the thing was that you guys, it was already set up how this is supposed to work. You're supposed to, you've got your blessings. You're supposed to take care of us, on the physical side, and then on the spiritual side, we were supposed to pray for you, and it was supposed to work together. Y'all didn't want it like that. I said you guys didn't want it like that. I said you still wanted us to pray for you. You still wanted all that. You want, like I said, like Miss Eddie said, you wanted our energies and our prayers, but you didn't want to actually have to take care of us as a people. Now it makes sense as to all the things they do to get us upset, because they feed off of that. Us arguing and fighting, they feed off of that. They feed off of all that negative energy. And now that we're not giving it to them, they're gonna try to go another way. Yes, exactly, Michael Clark. They need us in their working environments too. They want to use us, exactly. That's exactly what they've been doing. Exactly, Soundshot. I love that. They use Whoopi to send a message to U.S. Awakening Rogan's situation is shut him down due to him spreading alternatives. Yes, I heard about that. That's exactly why it was. He was spreading alternatives to we know what, and all of a sudden that popped up. So they got dirt, on all their people, and to keep them in line. As soon as they go out of line, they leave the reservation. They're not. Yeah, and that's the thing. You're not allowed to leave the reservation. If you've already made a covenant with the priesthood of Mahan, you're not allowed to leave the reservation. You've got your payout. You've got your money. You can't do that. Like I said, it just makes a lot of sense. So, yep, they signed in blood. They took the bag. Exactly. Yep, that's Psalms 83. Yep, they made that covenant. Exactly. So just a beautiful opportunity for us to come together as a family and just kind of just think about things, talk about things. He's a pastor, huh? Yeah. I would love to, Latoya. Chakras are dead. Yes, their chakras definitely. And since theirs are dead, it's always about making sure that we don't activate ours. And that's like the whole thing. Like even with connecting with the Most High, us actually being able to make that third temple whenever we're called back by the Most High. I said they can't do that. So therefore, and it's been like if they can't do certain things, they make it seem as if we can't either. Like it's everybody. Nope, they've never had a Holy Spirit. I've done a video on that about the Holy Spirit being given to us as a people. She's been our inheritance, you know, and it's talked about in the Apocrypha. And she's been given to us as an inheritance, not to the whole world, but only to us. And see, and they understand this, so therefore they had to disconnect us from her. You know, energy vampires, exactly. They get her from watching the destruction of the Hebrews. Oh yes, definitely. But like I said, but you can always tell who's made a covenant, because as soon as they make that covenant, they can't grow anymore. They can't change. They're not allowed to. They're pretty much, they got to stay on tap. They got to stay on that narrative. They got to stay on their points, and that's it. And like I said, when you understand that the Holy Spirit was only given to us, and see, that's what these churches make it sound like, oh, anybody can get the Holy Spirit. Anybody. No, they can't. That's not in the scriptures. Those scriptures are hidden. They get rid of those scriptures because they don't want you to realize that. You know, changing the her to a him, exactly. But like I said, but now the Most High is working to give us back that oral tradition that was taken away from us as well. And they, if that was only given to our people, which we already know, then it's only going to be given to the select few. It's only going to be given to the select few. You'll see your brother D'Angelo. I said it's not going to be given to everyone. And that makes so much sense as to 2nd Esdras 14, about how there's certain books given to everyone. Yeah, you guys can all read these books. I said you're not all going to understand them, but you can all read them. I said, but this other information is reserved for the few, for a remnant. And it would make sense that would be going back into like our esoteric oral history that was taken away. Exactly. Esoteric is reserved for the few. It's always only been given to the few. When you start realizing that the priests had all this information, but they did not give this to everyone. I said, so it's like in a roundabout way, it's like just 14, 44 and on, that's exactly what it's talking about. It's talking about the exoteric books given to everyone, and then it's talking about the esoteric information given to the few. I said, but you got to have the spirit to be able to see that. And see, I've thought about that for years, because I always did that. Like I always talked about like 2nd Esdras 14, when all these camps, all these people would come after me about reading other books. I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, can you please show me or explain 2nd Esdras 14 and how it says certain books are given to everyone, and then there's books that are given to a few that are going to be coming out at the end. And I've never seen a video, never seen any group actually go and like tackle that subject. No, nothing. All I get is oh no, you just can't read those books. Okay, well, that's what the churches have told me. So I already heard that already. That says now we've supposedly came into the awakening. So us being awakened people, awakened brothers and sisters, I said, then why is that we can't read other books? And never had a video, never saw a video, never, no, nothing. I said, you guys are not going to get away with, this is the word of God. This is the word of God. You're not getting away with that anymore. I said, you're going to have to prove to me that the Most High only spoke in those books. I said, you're going to have to prove that to me. And not one person has come in and tried to do a video to prove any of that, because they already know they can't. There's no way you can prove that the Most High only approved 66 books. I've been asking for years. I've been asking for that for years. I said, you prove it. I said, I don't have to prove why the validity of Enoch. I don't need to prove the validity of Jasher and Jubilees. You have to prove to me that I can't read them. I said, and you haven't, and no one's proven to me that I can't read these books. Now, when you get into it, there's going to be some information that's, hey, it's on point. Some information might not be. It might be on point, but we're just not ready for it either. I noticed that with a lot of books. Okay, I'm reading certain things. I'm like, yeah, it might be true. It might be right, but I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? It might be something I need to learn about more later on. I said that book I shared in the video this morning, the Kabbalah book, that book is absolutely no joke. I said that book is no joke. That book is deep. It has ridiculously deep information, and that's why I hear people talking about Kabbalah and this and that. I'm like, so you trying to tell me that you understand it? I said, when it's trying to say the Kabbalah is evil and the Kabbalah is this and the Kabbalah is that, I'm like, have you read this book? I said, because this book is like, it's not a book that you can just whip out and read and you just get the understanding like that. You know, I mean, like you look at like how much deeper we've gotten understanding as far as the Bible is concerned. After the Most High gave us the Spirit, how much deeper the Bible is. Okay, as far as like, remember, like we used to go to church and we'd understand. You know, okay, we thought we understood it, but when the Most High sent us the Holy Spirit and she opened up our eyes, you see how much deeper and how much more is being said in the Bible. Okay, now that's the Bible. This book, the Kabbalah, I would say is 10 to 50 to 100 times more complicated. And a lot of it has to do with our language. Like, we don't speak the Hebrew, so we don't write through. So, and a lot of these things that are in there, it correlates with the Hebrew, it correlates with numbers, correlates with the letters, meaning how each letter has a number, and then they bring these letters together to form words. I said it's way deeper. Okay, so when I have to laugh at people who talk about the book but haven't read the book, who talk about the book but haven't gotten the book to read it and to study. Even if you read it, it's not like you're just going to understand this because you pick it up and start to read it. I said it's way more. So I haven't even really touched on it too much. That's why I crack up with people saying, "Oh, you're bringing up the Kabbalah. You're teaching the Kabbalah." I'm like, bro, I can't even teach it because how can I be teaching it? I got this book. Most High blessed us to be able to get it. I can pray for understanding, fasting, fasting in order to get a much more spiritual downloads and more spiritual understanding. That is very important. I said fasting definitely helps to. I talked about the pyramid and how that's a symbol of like our ascension. How like when you are down at the base of the pyramid, that's the biggest part, but that's the part that touches the earth. Okay, that part is like when you're connected with the earth. It's like the biggest part. But as you ascend and you grow spiritually, your connection with the earth gets smaller and smaller. Just like the pyramid gets, it's wide here and it gets smaller as long as it gets to the top. So as you start to break away from the physical, the physical connections you have here in reality, the greater your spiritual understanding. And see, this information in the Kabbalah is so complicated that you need that spiritual connection. You need that spiritual understanding. This is, like I said, it's not a book that you can just get and it says, "Oh, this book was written by the devil." No, that doesn't say that. As you can tell from even the part I read this morning, it pretty much exposed all these churches from jump. It exposed all these people who have taken our records and translated them. How they took out the real power and they put in a fake God. That's exactly what and we know it's exactly what they've done. Wow. That doesn't sound like devil worship to me, does it? Does it sound like devil worship to you guys? What was came out in the Kabbalah this morning, or does it sound exactly like what they did? Just like it talks about how they wanted to write their images into our books, and that's exactly what they did. They gave us white Jesus. They gave us imbalance. I said, and that's exactly what white Jesus has done. He's caused imbalance. It's you can call us nigger, 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 nigger out forever, and never have to pay for it. And we'll give you a contract for hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions or whatever they gave them. So you can call us whatever you call us, Planet of the Apes, black people, and you never have to pay for anything. You never get. No one tells you anything until 12 years later. This is the society that we live in. We live in a society where you can do those kinds of things, and it's an imbalanced society, and you can get away with it. But if someone happens to be riding in a car and someone in that car commits a crime, everyone in that car gets the same punishment. See, that's an imbalanced system. I said, so those are the kinds of things that we have been dealing with this whole time. And I said, in that book, if you want to try to get the first edition, the Kabbalah book that I used this morning, there's one book available. I saw it. I don't know if you guys looked at, tried to find it. You saw the first edition. That first edition book of the Kabbalah that I read this morning is $2,800. $2,800 for a book about the devil. Does that make any sense? I said, so there must be some stuff in there that's really important for the book to cost almost 3 G's. And I'm sure it's not devil worshiping information because you can get that for pretty cheap. The devil wants to be worshipped, so why would he make it difficult for you to worship him? Why would he make it difficult to get that information to worship him? He'd make that nice and easy. Now, if you want information about our heritage, about our traditions, that's going to cost you $2,800 exactly for a book. Most I got it to us much cheaper than that. I said, but I said this information is no joke. I said, so like I said, that's why when I hear people talking about the Kabbalah and this and that, I'm like, I already know you haven't even read it. I know you don't even have the books. I said, so it depends on, like I said, what the Most High has blessed me. I said, blessed our nation, and He blessed me with people that support me. So thank you guys so much. And like I said, I could not do any of this without you. Okay, but it's about what you use the blessings for. See, I'm using the blessings to go and attain our history, to go and get our information in order to bring it back to Israel and to the Gentiles who want to learn and want to see it. They're not, I don't see, I know a lot of the PDFs, they change things. It's not the same. I say if you see, a lot of PDFs, they take, sometimes you get lucky and it's the same. Sometimes they take out a lot of pertinent information. It just all kind of depends. On the Stolen Legacy book, I said I bought one book for like $18 just to kind of compare it, and it was almost exactly the same information in a more expensive book. The first edition I can't even find it. It was like 1950s. I said, so I mean it's still better to get the PDFs and read as much as you guys possibly can. I said, but the Most High has blessed me to be able to go and get this information in order for me to bring it back to Israel, in order to be able to share it with the nation. Now, what have churches done with this when they get funds? Do they use that money for the nation, or do they use it for themselves? You see what I'm saying? So it's like it depends on who you support, okay, and then what they're using the money for. I said because that also is a lot of churches. I said they get an opportunity to live, to get money tax free, and then they use it to, you know, hey, we've seen these pastors. We've seen them with their hundreds of $1,000 cars. We've seen them when they're in their mansions, and we've seen them in their, all their other stuff that they have. I said so they're using funds for their personal gain. They buying property and doing stuff like that. I said they're buying things for their personal gain. You know, I said so if you help me and you support me, I said you're seeing the fruits of our labors. You're seeing that we're getting books, we're getting information, and you're seeing the fact that we can bring it out and we can substantiate the things that the Most High shows us. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's about your priority. It's about what you're using the blessings for. That's why I know the Most High is blessing us even more. I said because we're using it to, get our information and bring it out. This is all a process. You see what I'm saying? This is all a process, and Israel is all working together to do this. This isn't just me. I say that all the time. This is us as a nation coming together, pooling our resources together in order for us to get our history back. You see what I'm saying? I still work. I didn't, I don't take the money and live off of it. I said, but that has made it so that then I can, hold on fast. This guy's about to back up here. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Um, I still work. My wife works. I said, we both work. I said, so we're not dependent upon the money to live off of. You know what I'm saying? So we use the money and the funds or whatever else to do the will of the Most High, to get our history, and to do things like that. So, like I said, so it all depends on what you're using the blessings for. And you see, like a lot of churches, they use it for their gains. They're not using it to bring truth to Israel. They're using it to be able to live deliciously, to do what they want to do. Prosperity doctrines, definitely Mahan, exactly. Because this is your blessing. So then it would make sense then if this is your blessing. Hey, I'm not hating you. If this is what you put your your rocks into, this is what you put your you bet on is this system, and being able to enjoy this system, then enjoy it. Do you? I said this is your blessing. You know. I said, but don't be teaching people that hey, I'm gonna get this and I'm going to heaven. I'm gonna rule there too. I said that's the difference. So I'm not. Hey, we're taking our punishment here. You know what I'm saying? I said, we're taking our punishment here. You guys act like as if somehow you guys are never going to have to take your punishment. That's the funny thing. That's what you guys are pushing to the world. That you get to have all the blessings here, and then you also get the blessings of heaven. You get the blessings to come. I said, you're not going to be a two-time winner, and we're all going to be two-time losers. I said, that's not how this is going to be. I said, that would make the Most High unjust. And I said, we've been taking our punishments, and now they are begging to get theirs. Exactly. So you don't get. It's not going to be you guys get to win all the time and we get to lose all the time. I said that just like I said that would make the Most High unfair. That would make him unjust. And you guys wouldn't stand for that. You guys don't. You guys are a society of being just and everything else, right? But see, all of a sudden when it comes to this truth, all of a sudden then it's okay for the Most High to be unfair. If you're new, I would suggest sticking with the Bible. You can get into other books, I said, but make sure you have a really good foundation with the scriptures. Okay, if you go to bigjudah.com, they have books posted there that you can probably download there as well. There's also notes there from notebooks that I have that Sister Cassandra typed out for the nation from older videos, so you can type those out. And you can go, which Bible? I said, I said we have King James version. You can do that to start. Also, make sure you get the Apocrypha. Read that. I mean, I'm hoping that you already gotten some of that, but thank you, Ancient Gardener, for putting that up. I said that's the one. I mean, you can also get newer versions and compare them as well. Learning is a lifelong endeavor. You're not going to ever finish. So the sooner you get on the road, the better. I said, but we're always going to continue to learn. Okay. Someone got mad at me because um, they came in and they said, "Oh, can you give me a list of videos I should watch about the Americas, and can you give me a list of books that I should read about the Americas, and can you give me like the authors and the names of the books and this," and I'm like, no. I said you can go back and scroll back, to old videos. I have almost 1,000 videos. You can go back and look at those videos. I said and it's really as easy as going to Google and typing America's, promised land or whatever else, and then there you go. But see, and that's what I tell people all the time. Like, and this person got mad. Oh, I'm good. Yeah, I said, you can go to another channel if you want. I said, that's cool. And this person got mad. They're like, whoa, I might just go to another channel. I said, if you're not going to help me, when it says, I'm like, I said, this isn't that type of a party, and not this type of a channel. I said, if you really want to know, I said, all you have to do is scroll back and look at old videos. Old videos are also going to refer you to other books. I said, if you really want to do it, I said, you will do it. I said, but if you think we're going to sit here and like, oh yeah, here's all these videos, here's all these books. I said, everybody here has a responsibility. And the person got mad, but like I told them, I said, everyone has a responsibility. You have a responsibility to study for yourself, to study. I said, a lot of people, I said, this isn't like a regular, situation where we're going to do all this for you. I said, this is not a church. I said, this is what you guys are used to. You're used to a man telling you, you know, this is what you need to do. This is what you have to do. This is what you have to read. This is what you don't read. I said, that's not what this is. I said, you need to go and study. This person got upset, you know, and but I'm like, you'll get over it. I said, if you're really serious, I said, you won't let my couple of words deter you. I said, you'll study for yourself if you're really serious. you know, and that's what I said. I said, you got to study to show thyself approved. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. I said, it says that for a reason. I said, and I said, it's much easier for you than it was for us. I said, we were had to read all these books and come up with all these videos and put these videos. All you have to do is go find the video that interests you and press play. I said, that's still, helping. And that's, but I said, but if you can't even scroll back and look, I said, then, I said, everyone has a responsibility. I have a responsibility. I study a lot. We all study a lot. So, it's as easy as going to bigjudah.com and there's information that the brothers actually set up a website and they maintain the website. Rick, that website for the family. So all you got to do is, all of a sudden, there's all these books and all these resources right there. So I said, so if anyone really wants to study, I said, there is definitely plenty of opportunity to study. There's plenty of things to study. There's resources right there. I said, but I'm not the kind of person that will hold your hand and walk you through things. I said, that's not. I don't even do that with my own kids. I said, it gets to a point where as they get older, it's their responsibility to do things. You know what I mean? I said, I don't do that with my kids. I'm not going to do that with another adult. I said, if the information is there, if they want it, you'll show them the way and whatever else, but they have to be willing to go to that water and drink. I said, because, even with our own kids, hey, I still had that church mentality when I came into um, the truth. So therefore, I made it seem as if, I had my kids memorizing scripture, doing this and doing that. And ultimately, if they stay in this truth or they don't stay in this truth, it's ultimately up to each and every kid. Every person, I should say, every child, adult, it's ultimately up to them. And if they're being called, if they're not being called, it doesn't matter how much you push them. If they're not called to be in it, it's not for them. you know. So like I said, that even how it works in my own house. I'm not going to force feed, even my own kids, even my wife. I said, ultimately, like I said, it's up to them, and that's how and really, we're all on our walks. Back here, that is true. A lot of books are hidden, okay, in plain sight at the resale stores, like the Salvation Army clothing stores. Some of them, and didn't realize what I was. You can get information on. You can get some information that they're putting in there. You know, I said you can find understanding everywhere. Mm-hmm. Very true, Sister Rosie. The church took our money and gave us lies. Exactly. I don't know if it's still. Hopefully, it's not buffering. Hopefully, it's better. I don't know. I'm in the same position. I'm down here with all the rich people, man. There shouldn't be any issues with my with my Wi-Fi. They don't have any issues getting Wi-Fi around here. They must not like the us all coming together and spending some time together. Maybe that's what it is. Us saying that we're not gonna hold hands and spoon feed people. See, that's what they did with us a lot of times, was they try to make it seem like that's what, they still try to push that whole church mentality. Like, I should be happy that someone is even paying attention to me, and that if they have a question, I should just break my back to answer every little question that they have. But do the churches do that? When you guys had questions and you're in the church and you ask them questions, did they answer? Did they go out of the way to answer our questions? Hell nah. They didn't answer. They kind of give you whatever they wanted to tell you, but then that was it, right? And I said, because they knew that they were up here. And it's like, hey, and they would always be like, hey, if you don't like it, you don't like what the pastor's saying, you can take your butt somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I said, so I like that Queen Mommy. You forgot, Big Judah, they lost their blessings, so now the Wi-Fi no longer works. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, man, Israel is hilarious. But that's exactly it. It's like, hold on, you guys want me to? I did that at first too. I would go out of my way to answer people's questions and this and that, knowing damn well a lot of these people were not even sincere, didn't even look the information up. Because I would ask them, like, I would talk to people and talk about the Apocrypha, and then later on I'd be like, I see this person again. I go, hey, did you ever get the Apocrypha? Yeah, no, man, I never got that. Oh, so you never read any of this stuff? Nah, man. I said, oh, okay. So I wasted all my time talking to you and talking about the Apocrypha, and you couldn't even find the time to go. Okay, all right. So yeah, I don't do that no more. I was like, if you really want it, I said, you'll be like us. I said, no one's going to deter you. Even if someone says something that you don't like, it's still not going to stop you from studying. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen that with certain people. Like, no matter what you say, you can be the biggest jerk and whatever else, and they're still going to keep on. Okay, all right, maybe Big Judah had a bad day. Okay, I'm still going to keep on studying. Big Judah didn't answer my questions, but you know what? I'm not going to use that as an excuse to not study. I'm still going to go ahead and study because he's not going to stop me from studying. That's how it should be. Like, I've had people, you know, say things to me I didn't necessarily like or whatever else, but did that deter me from continuing to chase after the Father? Nope, not at all. And that's how we are. I shouldn't say should be. That's how people who are in this truth really are. No matter what someone says to you, you're still going to study. I don't care. I'd be on my deathbed and I still got books next to me studying. You know what I mean? I said, because I mean that's the spirit that I have. You know, and I think, and I know the people that are here that are in this truth now and that are growing now, that's how they are. They're not going to let anyone else, mess up their time with the Most High. You know, so I don't have to break everything down. I said I can't. I don't got that kind of. And then I said, I don't know. When people come to me, I don't know if they're really being sincere, or are they energy vampires? Or are they just kind of coming just to, acting as if they really want to know something, and they're just wasting my time. I've had my time wasted too many times, and I'm not doing that no more. Like, once you realize that you've been lied to about absolutely everything, then you know that everything is on the table as far as learning and studying is concerned. And that's it. There's a lot of agents. There's a lot of people who just come in to just cause confusion and to waste your time. I totally understand that, and I know we all do, because we've had people that we talk to in real life like that. Oh man, I want to know what I want to hear about what you're talking about. I want to know what you're talking about. And then you start talking to them about it, and then if you hook up with them again later on and you ask them some questions, and they're exactly the same point they were when before. So I was like, oh, so you don't have any time for the Most High. You don't have any time to study, but you damn sure got time to go watch the football game. You got time to go watch the basketball game, the football, baseball games. You got time for all that, right? Okay. I said, well, enjoy that, but don't come over here to me asking me questions, because I said I'm not wasting my breath. So you can sit here and you got fantasy football and you're over here memorizing, this position and that position, what this dude did the night before, and if his girlfriend or wife got mad at him, maybe he's not gonna play well that day or something like that. You worry about all that crap. I said, but you can't even find the time to go buy a $10 or $15 apocrypha and read it. And I had talked about this before, and it's like, know your worth. You know, know your worth as a son and daughter of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everyone deserves access to you. And that's the whole thing. For so long, we've been put at the bottom that we seem to think that, you know, we need to just be so happy that someone's paying attention to us. Someone, wants to hear what we have to say, because for so long, no one's given a shit what we have to say. No one's cared about our opinions, right? So all of a sudden now people they want to know what you have to say, or they want to know something. They try to make you feel like you need to, answer all their questions, and you need to go jump out of go out of your way. And I'm like, no, I learned that lesson. I said that's not how this is. I said I know my worth. I know that the Most High is blessing myself and our nation right now. I said, and not everyone has access to to talk to me, to ask me questions or whatever else. I said it's not about being conceited or whatever else. It's just, hey, I have to prioritize my time. It's only 24 hours in a day. Not everyone is going to be able to get access to us. Just like I'm sure everyone here is the same way. There's certain people you just have to just cut off. It's like, you know what? Nah, I can already tell in your spirit you're not really serious about this, and I'm not trying to, force a round peg in a square hole. Exactly. Don't give your blessings away for free. Exactly. I don't do that, and I suggest you don't either. If someone's sincere, hey, you'll know it, you'll feel it, you'll see it. Exactly. Holy Spirit reveals all to them who want the truth, and the Most High will send that person into your path if it's true, if they really are about it, if they're really serious. But if they're not, like I said, I'm not wasting my time. But see, like when you get into this truth, it makes the scriptures come alive. You just really start to see the whole separation of scriptures in there. How the Holy Spirit's going to bring all truth back to you. How it's Jeremiah 17, how you're going to get all the traditions that the Most High gave you. Like there's all these things that have like these hidden meanings that the churches never really they never expressed. And just think of it, we're giving our churches 10% of our money, or whatever, more or less, or whatever else. We were spending all this time giving these people all our time, giving them all this money, and all they were doing was giving us a bunch of lies. We're paying them to keep us away from the Father. You really got to think about that. We were paying them to keep us to not read, to not study, and to not chase after the Father. We were paying them to put our faith in men. Hamsters on the wheel. I got so many people I know that went to church their whole lives, and it's sad. 50, 60, 70-year-old people, and they don't have like a basic understanding of scriptures at all. They don't have even, like, you start asking certain questions and they just don't even have an understanding. And I said, we've given these people all of our money, all of our time, been, volunteering at the church, all this stuff, and you've got nothing for it. You've gotten absolutely nothing for it. But be at the church on, consistently, every Sunday, maybe on Wednesdays, you know, volunteering time, all of this, and got absolutely nothing out of it. So that's why, I have little patience. So I said, some people are like, hey, you're willing to do all these things for Satan. You're willing to put forth all this time for Satan. You're willing to go to the church. You're willing to break your back, go bend yourself backwards and forwards as a pretzel to do anything the pastor said. But now that we're telling you, hey, just pick up the book and read. Pick up the book and study. Go do this. Go do that. And it's like, oh no, that's too much. Then I guess you're not really serious then. Can't teach what you don't know. Well, trust me, these churches are a lot more than you think. This is why they don't. There's many scriptures that they never talk about. You know what I mean? There's a lot of scriptures that they refuse to talk about, refuse to teach, because they know that they will point to us. I said they will point to the true Israelites, and they can't teach that. It goes against their narrative. All praises Brenda Hill. And the same thing with me. I mean, I went to church all the time too. And I mean, learned so much within a few months of coming into the truth as compared to all that we learned when we were in these churches. Exactly, know exactly what to teach. Like I said, I went to seminary school. I went to school with a lot of these dudes. So, and they're pastors today. Okay, so went to youth groups with some of the wives that were there with pastors and stuff like that. So I know how they are. I know, I said, so as long as you think a certain way and whatever else, they're cool with you. But as soon as you start going outside of the stuff that they're comfortable with, they don't want nothing to do with you. They don't want to talk to you because they can't explain anything. They can't explain any of the stuff. Like I said, I had a brother, a dude I was tight with through college, and I started talking to him about the truth. Dude won't don't want to talk, don't want to respond back, don't know nothing. When I try to talk, or I've tried to talk to him now for years. I said, but when I did, I said all of a sudden before when he thought he was up here, and I was down here, like, oh, how's your walk? How's your Christian walk going, brother? How's everything going? You still, still going strong, this and that. But then you start asking some questions outside of his comfort level, like, hey, I get this older Bible. It's got these precepts in it. It's got the Apocrypha in it. It's got, all of a sudden, yeah, we're not talking no more. They don't teach Joel exactly. How many people do you see breaking down Joel 2? I see very few people talking about that Joel 2 because they've tried to make the Bible only speak to the three parts. They've tried to make sure everything only happens with the three parts because apparently to them, America's not in there, and we know different. That's been this whole thing is to hide the actions that they've done over here, in the Americas. That has nothing to do with prophecy. That's what they've been pushing this whole time. They ain't touching Joel 2. They damn sure ain't touching Joel 3. In Joel 2, you see the restoration of Israel after they've gone through their oppression in their own lands. You see the removal of the armies out of their lands. You see the restoration of the lands and the people. And we know over in the so-called Middle East, where Ish's land is, they are not being, they're not, they don't have armies all over their lands. They don't have armies that have taken over their lands that have to be removed. You see what I'm saying? So Acts tells on them. Joel 2 tells on them. It's got to be a land that's occupied by an army, and that army is going to have to. And once that army is removed, then the restoration of the people and the restoration of the land starts. So that's not going on over there in the Middle East. That's not going over there in the land of Israel. They don't have another outside army occupying their lands. See, so like I said, so once you start looking, that's why they're not touching Joel 2. They're not touching Joel 3, where the Israelites were sold to the Greeks. Well, I haven't seen any ish being sold to white Greeks. You see what I'm saying? So that's why there's all these certain things they just like, hey, we're not touching. But the thing is, even Israel, you don't see Israelites talking about Joel 2. They do a lot of. I don't see very many doing videos on Joel chapter 2 because then they're going to be talking about the Americas, and they have still to talk about the land being over there in the so-called Middle East. Exactly, DM, exactly. I said, now you guys, where is that going to be fulfilled over there? Well, they're going to say is, oh, well, that's going to happen in the future. That's going to happen in the future after the rapture. That's their go-to. Is that all these things are going to be fulfilled in the future? Not that they've already been fulfilled. Nope. The cat is like I said. You start thinking. Look at all these different scriptures that they just refuse to talk about. Second Ezra 15. That's why they took that out. Second Ezra 6 and 54, talking about the other nations and what the Most High thinks of them. Got to get that out of there. I mean, it's all Second Ezra 14. How there's certain books gone out, and there's going to have to be more coming at the end. When you're the only one, when you said you've only approved 66 books, you can't go about. You can't say there's going to be more books coming in the end. So we just don't talk about it. You see, so that's why all of these, there's all these churches that we've been giving all this money to, and I said they've been lying to us the whole time. Exactly, I love that. Israel talks last. Nope, it says religion has folk waiting on things to happen that's occurred already. Exactly, and make you feel comfortable while you're waiting. Exactly, exactly, Ma'am said Yasharel. Exactly, that's how they push the deception to make it seem as those things are coming later. Exactly, and like I say to other people all the time, if what we're saying is not true, prove it. Go, you guys. You can easily set up a YouTube. You can set up a YouTube account. Prove it. Go prove that Joel 2 is going to happen over there in the so-called Middle East. Go prove, Obadiah. Go talk about Obadiah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always, hey, go. We love looking at other perspectives. We have no problem looking at a different perspective. See, the churches can't look at other perspectives. That's why they try to ignore everything that we say. That's it. They try to ignore everything because they can't look at other perspectives. Are the devil. The only one that comes from God is their perspective, supposedly. They don't want to talk about critical race theory at all. Exactly. I had a discussion with that someone at work. I was just like, hey, the critical race theory is the history from the oppressed's point of view that's been hidden all this time. You know, so they can't deal with a lot of things. Prophecy is happening right now. The awakening is happening right now. You know, the rebuilding of the third temple is happening right now. The Most High restoring His people is happening right now. There's a lot going on. Like I said, we're gonna keep on hearing all this stuff talking about, the war coming and everything else, and then setting everything up. It's all about Israel. It's all about us getting our information back, and that's exactly what's going on right now. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Tripping, huh? I'm gonna let you guys go, family. It says it was great hanging out. Hey, over here tripping. Anyways, we had a beautiful time together. Thank the Most High. I said all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who was wisdom? Who was the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to